Welcome back for the third installment of Alpha Nerd Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, and today's segment for this week will be cinema, movies, and TV shows. Today I have with me my best friend and good friend, Greg. Say hello, Greg.
How you doing?
Good. So, me and Greg enjoy a lot of movies, a lot of TV, good, bad, you name it, we watch it. Usually we're together when we watch it, so I thought he'd be the perfect person to come on and talk with me about said things. We're going to start off with, we just finished the Book of Boba on Disney+. Greg, let's see what your initial thoughts were on it.
I think Book of Boba was hit or miss. Each episode was either good or bad. There was no, I don't want to say in between. But I don't know. I think it started off strong. I think it ended strong too. So I think in between though was kind of hit or miss.
Yeah, I liked it all the way up until we got to where. Well, actually, I liked it more when we just switched over to Mandalorian Part 2.
Yeah, I think everyone's seen that one coming though.
I didn't. I really thought they were going to focus on Boba because Boba's such a iconic Star Wars character that every nerd that loves Star Wars loves Boba Fett. He is such a big important character that everyone loves.
Yeah, I agree with that. But they built a big fan base with the Baby Yoda or Grogu. Or Baby Yoda. So they had to somehow bring him back into the fold.
Yeah, because that's what sells.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, they were going to probably lose some viewers if they didn't do that.
Yeah, and I think how they handled it was well written because they did enough with Boba to get all the old fans into it, but they did enough with Grogu and the Mandalorian to keep the new fans and put it all together.
Yeah, but it didn't overtake it. I mean, it did for about, I would say, 2 episodes?
Two episodes.
They kind of took over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like when Luke gives him the option for the chainmail or the lightsaber. Everyone knew he was going to go for the chainmail.
The only other part I had is, I read a lot of the stuff with, the Book of Boba, and with them using the main actor who played Jango Fett and all that, and when he was younger, it made it really hard for him to be able to do half the things he does in the other media for the show, because he's about 20 years older.
Right, you're talking about when he was in prison before he became assassin, or
no. When the Book of Boba and some of the older media comes along, he wasn't as old when he got out of the Sarlacc pit.
Oh, okay.
So when they were going through it,
I mean, he looks old as dirt when he comes out there.
Yeah, because the actor he's in his 50s, and
that's not.
I don't think.
Dirt.
Yeah, but I'm saying for an actor, that's pretty old.
Do some physical stuff.
And on top of it, he wasn't like an action movie actor, so he wasn't that guy who spent 4 or 5 days at the gym. He got his role as Jango, and then they kind of popped the Mandalorian stuff on him, like, hey, do you want to play Boba Fett? He was like, okay.
Yeah, right.
So, but I felt like they handled it very, very well. I loved a lot of it. I like they introduced Cad Bane.
Oh, I was going to bring that up. Yeah. I knew you were excited about it.
Yeah, because I like side characters. I always like the interesting side characters. And
right.
Cad Bane was a bounty hunter that kind of...
Well, he took Boba Fett under his wing for a little bit.
Yeah, for a while, right. And then a lot of the time they always conflicted with each other because Cad Bane would show up and steal some of Boba's bounties and just always beat him up and leave him hanging.
Well, then I think one part of the story is they were in jail together and they came up with a plot to get out, and Cad Bane actually ditched him, and he got caught again and got sent back to jail. That's why they have a thing against each other now.
Yeah.
At least that's from what I remember.
The only other thing I didn't really like about was the cliffhanger with the Darksaber. They just kind of left that looming out there out of nowhere.
Well, that's setting up Mandalorian 2.5.
Well, whatever, but, they had that episode that was kind of dedicated to it, and, you got to go here to do something about this. And they're like, all right, we're never talking about it again.
Right. I mean, they could do that. I doubt that, though. They have too many followers. There's going to be another Grogu and Mandalorian.
And then we have Danny Trejo, the Rancor trainer.
I wish we'd have seen more of the Rancor, actually.
Yes, I would have, too. But I just love how they just popped Danny Trejo in there. Him as an actor is so great because he just pops into random things.
I know, and he was only there for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and he doesn't really Well, most of his early career in the 90s and stuff, like in Desperado and everything, he was always the big tough sidekick guy to the main villain.
Yeah, right. Well, then there was Machete.
Yeah, and that was also like, and if you but that was later 2000s when he started taking his career a little more lightly. Like he was liked, and he's like, you know what, I'm just gonna keep going with that.
Right.
But in his early career, he was always like the big bad's like second in command that never really talked and always looked menacing.
Yeah, right. He was like, I don't know if did you ever watch Breaking Bad? I don't remember if you watched that or not.
I watched some of it.
He was kind of like a side villain in that.
Yeah,
he got killed off pretty quick.
The one thing that everyone thought is everyone thought Danny Trejo was like super tall and big. No, he's like 5 foot.
Yeah, you can tell just by looking at him.
He's huge.
I mean, he was a muscular guy.
Yeah, he was huge, like bodybuilder wide, but he wasn't like everyone thought he was like 6'3", 6'4", until you actually saw him and they started seeing him because they do the same thing like they did with Tom Cruise. They shot it from like a lower angle, so it made him look taller.
That's like the Green Mile with what's his name?
Michael Clark Duncan.
John Coffey. Yeah, he plays John Coffey. He's not a big. He's not.
No,
he is a big guy.
He was like 6'6".
Was he that tall?
Yeah, oh yeah. But what they did was they angled it up too to make him even taller because they wanted to make him almost 7 foot.
They make the size different look way.
Yeah, and that's just cinematics and good angles.
So what didn't you like about Boba?
I don't think we just did enough with Boba. Like,
it was more of the side characters.
Like, yeah, he quickly fell to the side.
Right.
And also the other thing I really didn't like was the super low speed chase with the
I was going to bring it up.
hipsters.
You beat me to it. It was horrible.
The space hipsters.
It was horrible. Listen. You, me, and Cheetah were sitting there watching it, and we were all looking at each other, thinking the same exact thing. Like,
this is
a kid with a bicycle can ride by these guys right now. Like, it was horrible. I think at one point they crashed into a building. It doesn't even knock anything down, right?
No,
they're in a high speed chase.
They knock over like a roofing thing.
Yeah,
and some
right.
oranges, space oranges fall along.
They knock over a food stand.
But like, I was okay with like, all right. Like they're doing like the young people are into the cybernetics thing, so instead of tattoos, they did like cybernetic enhancements,
right.
And I was okay with that because whatever they gotta make some kind of like rebel young people thing, whatever. That was fine. It just got weird when they had their bright colored space mopeds.
Well, I'm
they're
guessing
space mopeds.
Yeah,
they were space mopeds.
They weren't even motorcycles.
They're space mopeds.
For souped up people, they didn't have souped up bikes.
No, they had space mopeds.
Yeah, it was really weird. You beat me to it though, because that was like every time I think of the show, I think of that.
That was the letdown.
"Quote unquote" high speed chase. No one can see my air quotes with my fingers, but it was definitely. We all looked at each other at that moment, like oh really, this is what's going on. Like, yeah, like this is bad.
This is the. And what's making me laugh is since we're ragging on stuff we didn't like, I feel like that's going to be today's show because the other two things we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely.
But I liked a lot of it. I feel like they did great with the makeup. They did great with the characters.
You think we'll see Cad Bane?
No, he's dead.
You think he's dead?
Oh, he's dead.
You think so?
Oh yeah, he's
well, they always find ways.
No, this is not Darth Maul,
you don't wanna,
where they revive him out of nowhere.
I mean,
because he's so
Vader
super popular.
came back 3 times.
He didn't come back 3 times. He came back once.
As Anakin, he got burned up in lava.
Yeah, and that was it. Then he came back. And and he just got burnt near to death. Like he didn't get cut in half like Darth Maul did. Right. Darth Maul straight got cut in half, and they're like, we need to bring him back somehow for a while.
I can just see him saying that he missed his heart or something when he stabbed him. I mean, I'm just saying.
I'd understand.
I wouldn't put it off.
I would if it was like anybody but Boba Fett. If it was like some random Jedi or some random dude.
Yeah.
But this is Boba Fett. Like, he knows how to murk people.
I don't know. I'm just saying, the power of the public. If they're interested in him.
Yeah, but I don't know if they will be. Because Cad Bane is such a side character. Like, he's known, but that's only to like real Star Wars fans.
Right.
I don't think he's going to be popular enough to spark him being in it in the future. I think if they're going to get into other things, they're gonna do more with like the rest of the bounty hunter stuff. Like have some of the other bounty hunters.
Well, I mean, they kind of got to close out the Mandalorian now, right?
Yeah, they're gonna close out Mandalorian. But if they ever get back to Boba Fett, They're gonna probably do with the other bounty hunters.
You think they'll get back to him? I think he'll be a side. I think he'll be a side character again from here on out.
Yeah, if anything, he'll show up a couple times. Like,
Yeah.
hey, what's up?
Yeah,
Hope
kind
that
of
missile.
like in the
Bye.
Mandalorian. Yeah, right.
He'll blow something up and leave.
Yeah. Maybe his jetpack will work all the time now.
Yeah. Okay. Till Han Solo shows up. Because he's technically alive in this universe.
That's true.
He's still alive. This is
I
before.
don't know if they can get Harrison Ford.
Oh no, they can't afford Harrison
come
Ford.
back.
He's over this.
Yeah.
He did
pretty
his
much
movies.
he pretty much said it in the last one he was in. He didn't want to do another one more.
Yeah, it was. I liked Book of Boba. I liked a lot about Book of Boba. It showed him like being more mature. Like, hey, we can't just keep murking people and killing people. It's not going to get what you want. He became like after his life or death experience of being in the Sarlacc, he was just like, maybe I should handle things a little bit differently.
I mean, we'll see. It's definitely going to be. I mean, they definitely have to finish the Mandalorian.
Absolutely.
With the Darksaber.
And and I knew they were going to do something with Grogu and bringing him back the minute they showed his new ship. When they overhauled his ship and it had the little the bubble, the Grogu-sized bubble specifically.
Yeah, we all knew that was happening.
Yeah, that was easily foreshadowed.
So, speaking of things we didn't like, we recently watched a movie.
We're gonna jump right into this.
About 2 days ago.
So, as one of the things I love a lot, and as you guys, if you've ever listened to the first episode, one of my favorite things in the world is Resident Evil. And if you're not sure what Resident Evil is, it was a game series that was created in 1996 by two people specifically that worked for Capcom, which is one of the leading game developers that are currently existing still. They're one of the oldest besides like Nintendo, and they're still running strong because they came up with great IP. Like,
well, I mean, Capcom came out for games for all the systems, though.
Yes, but I'm saying they're IPs. They're IPs,
right?
Right. Products. They weren't like a game develop. Like Nintendo's a game system developer,
yeah, right.
And they also do their own development of games.
Right.
Where Capcom was just straight about the software, and in '93 it released in Japan as Biohazard, and then it was so popular in Japan. Capcom went to the two men that created it, which was Shinji Mikami and Takuro Fujiwara.
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, Fujiwara. And before they released it in America, they had a contest inside the development team about what they should call it. And incidentally, someone came up with the name Resident Evil, and it kind of stuck.
It's a good name.
It's
a great name.
Yeah, because it was originally called Biohazard, Resident Evil Biohazard, just in case the Resident Evil name failed. But Resident Evil took off so fast.
So if any of the listeners out there are listening and you don't know what he's talking about, it's okay, because neither do I. I actually had to look all this stuff up.
Yeah,
this is
the area you don't know. You don't know gaming.
Right. I'm not a gamer, right?
And this is just one of the games, and that's why I wanted to.
Well, I looked it up. I looked it up for a reason, though. I looked it up because the movie,
which I'm about to go with,
didn't make sense to me.
So, the movie we just watched was Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City, which was a release of this year, or actually possibly last year. I think it was 2021.
I think it was this year.
Was it? Was it? Okay. But in the meantime, the movie series that came out before of it was the original Resident Evil series with Mila Jovovich, who was a okay actress. She's okay. She found her roles.
You're right. Last year, 2021.
Yeah, like the very end of 2021.
Yeah, right.
She found her roles. And that went on for 7 movies, the original Resident Evil series, which got really bad.
Well, right. The first two were good.
The first 2 were good. They were still hokey, but they were good hokey.
Yeah, right.
Where they were entertaining still. And that was Paul W. Anderson for the first one and 4 through 6. Alexander Witt took over the second one, which the second one was also one of the really good ones. But then there was different directors for 3 and 7, and the guy who did 7, he needed to stop. 7 was not good, and it's Jonas Roberts who did 7, and I don't think he just that show that series for the first running of it should have stopped at 5, maybe 6.
I think Jonas Roberts did this one too.
Yes, he did. That's why I said. That's why when I was looking at my notes, I was like, oh, he did 7 too.
I was going to say, I think he did this one too.
And then he started this project in 2018. It said 2018, 2019.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and then it got released at the end of 2021 to really bad reviews, like dumpster fire reviews.
I thought it was funny though when we sat down to watch it before the movie started.
I warned you.
You said this is going to be a train wreck.
Because I knew.
I started laughing.
I knew.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be bad.
So
the minute I saw the actors, I was like, "This is gonna be terrible."
Yeah, you did too. You're like, "This is gonna be a train wreck." And I was like, "Okay." Yeah. So, to me, because I didn't, like I said, I had to do the research on it because I didn't play the games.
So you're unfamiliar with everything,
right? So I did the research on it. Once I did the research on it and knew what was going on, that movie
does not.
I mean, none of it.
No, it like makes references to things.
I mean,
references like hey, do you know this guy? And that was it. Nothing about the character.
There's no backgrounds. There's
nothing.
Like the sheriff acts shifty the whole time, and you don't know why.
Oh, but you mean the lieutenant, not the chief?
Yeah,
police chief.
He acts shifty the whole
Irons,
time.
Yeah,
and like I said, I didn't know why because I didn't. Yeah, I didn't play the games.
You don't know the games.
Yeah,
but
right.
I knew something was up.
So then once I looked it up, I was like, oh, that's why he acted shifty the whole time.
Yeah, like he was actually in bed with the evil people the whole time. He was in on it, and they were covering up his dirty secrets to get him to work for them and stuff.
Yeah, right. So I don't know. For me, it was like, to me, if it weren't because I know you, obviously, we've talked about certain stuff, even though I don't game.
Yeah.
If it were me and I didn't play the game and didn't know kind of what it was, I'd have just thought it was a regular zombie movie.
Yeah, some generic unknown zombie.
I wouldn't have known. I mean, they didn't even mention the G virus until like literally.
And they
didn't
even mention it. Is they just showed a case with a vial that said G virus
right.
in big old words.
Yeah, and then he injects himself before he dies.
Yeah, which is. Whew. So we're gonna start from the beginning of this. They tried to do a retelling of how everything happened with Raccoon City, and the hardest thing is if you're not familiar with the series, you have a lot of research to do. But if you're familiar with the series, they tried to tell a retelling of it in a completely different way. And I'm going to start with the casting choices. The casting choices, to me, were just god-awful. They just chose random people, to play parts.
You didn't like Tom Hopper as Wesker?
Tom Hopper, yeah. Tom Hopper as... I don't know why. I just wanted to go right to Harper. Tom Hopper as Albert Wesker. And that blew my mind.
I mean, I like him in the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, well, he's great in the Umbrella Academy because he played the role that he's good at. Like a big, strong guy who's kind of goofy but has a lot of emotional ties.
Oh, yeah, right.
But, see, that's the thing. Is like, because you don't know the games... You didn't really understand why I was so disappointed.
Not at
See,
all.
Albert Wesker...
Well, like I said, I did the research. Now I know what Wesker is.
Even when you played the games, like, if you look up right now Albert Wesker from the games, just look him up from the games, he's the glaringly most evil guy. He was that guy who had the slick back blonde hair and wore sunglasses in the middle of the night.
like the 80s villain.
Yeah. And he'd talk in a slow drawl if he thought you were as dumb as he was. It's dumb. If he was dumber than he was. If he thought you were dumb, he'd talk real slow, like he's talking to a child.
Right.
And he's like, and that's how he always talked to Chris Redfield at the beginning. He goes, Chris, go. And he always had the real evil, like, drawl to his voice, too. He's like, go over there and do stuff.
Well, Chris is the one that he had his family held captive or something, right?
No. That's Barry Burton.
Oh, Barry Burton. Okay.
And to be surprisingly, that's who I thought when I saw Tom on there, Tom Hopper.
Tom Hopper.
I thought that's who he was going to play because
he was going to play Barry.
Barry is a big loafy guy, like he's a big old meathead who has a Magnum, and he's the guy with the heart of gold who's super big and strong,
right?
And that is whole shtick. And I thought Tom Harper was good for that.
You keep calling him Harper. It's Hopper.
Yeah, well, he'll whatever. He can sue me.
You can't change his name by will, I promise.
Yeah, I know. But I thought that's who he was going to play. And then when as soon as I looked up and said Albert Wesker, I was like, oh no.
Well, it was weird because he really had no
motivation.
That I know, yeah, well, now that I know the story, he really had no part.
No, he was just some idiot who's
right.
Some random guy sent me a text, said he'll give me money if I bring this to him.
Yeah, right.
I guess I'm turning evil, kind of.
He really had no part.
He wasn't even really evil. He was just like, I'm doing this for money.
Right. Now that I know the story, because I read up on it and watched
the way Albert Wesker worked in the games was he got into that Special Forces unit of STARS in order to keep track of them because they started investigating.
Yeah, and he wanted to make sure.
And they started uncovering things, so he wanted to know where they were at. So that's why he got part of that. And then he's like, "Oh, well, I'm going to use these guys who are really good at their job. I'm going to see how well the zombies and stuff do. See if these guys can get through it. Because if they can't get through it, this is an effective weapon."
Right.
And then Albert Wesker just spent all his other time betraying everybody he could. Like the other thing in like the movie that they didn't go over is like you said, he was just some random dude's like, "Hey guys, I guess I'm turning evil."
Yeah, right. He had no part. It didn't like show no
purpose.
Yeah, nothing to it.
Like
even the I looked it up. Even the Bravo and Alpha teams were two separate.
Yeah.
Kind of entities.
Yeah.
You know.
And like I wish they would have showed more of the Alpha unit because they had Rico Marini, who was a different character, like side character.
Yeah, but he was a big part of the game, though.
Yeah, he was like in the Resident Evil 0, he was a big part, and he uncovered a lot of things.
Right.
And he's the one who led Chris and all them to understand, like, hey, there's some corrupt stuff going on in our own station.
Right.
Be wary. But they never got into that. Rebecca Chambers, they never went over. They just,
well, then the rookie cop. What's the rookie cop's name?
Leon.
Yeah,
Leon S. Kennedy.
They didn't even really do his part. They didn't do his part right.
They didn't do nothing with him at all.
They didn't do anything with him.
Like I said, when I sent you the research, I was like, here's a recap.
When I researched it, I was like, oh my, they messed that all up.
Yeah. Well, first of all, like I said, also the casting choice, and I understand what they were going for because they wanted to try to do a more diverse cast to, give everyone.
Well, that's fine to have a diverse cast. Just cast them in the right
parts. Yeah, like some random guy who I believe he's some kind of Indian of some sort because I'm not that familiar. Like, but he's not.
You talking about the guy who plays Leon?
Yeah.
His name is Avan Jogaya.
Okay.
That's the guy who plays Leon.
Yeah. Where's he from?
Let me look it up. Vancouver, Canada.
Okay. So I don't sound like I'm pig-headed. Does it go over like his ethnicity at all? Or is he just some guy from Vancouver?
I don't know. I didn't look too far into it here. But
well, no. Now I'm just interested.
I'll look him up.
Because when you think of the name Leon, I didn't think of his face.
No, not at all.
And then if you know the backstory of that character, that was definitely not the face I was thinking of.
No, not at all. And that's what I said once I did the research. It was like it wasn't even close.
Because the whole point of Leon S. Kennedy was he was like this really awesome cop that transferred to Raccoon City, and
from another
city
department because he shot his partner.
Well, no, not even. That's in the movie though, but in the games.
Well, I know that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he shot his partner, and he was some goof who didn't know how to be a good cop, and his dad got him the job.
Right, but in the game, he's a really good cop.
Yeah, he's top of his class. He was one not to mess with, and then he got thrown into this random city, and then his first day on the job, like right when he pulls into the city, zombie apocalypse. So they didn't do that right. They didn't do...
He's half Indian and half Irish.
Okay, so... I was at least...
Yeah, you were close.
That was close enough. It wasn't like I'm disparaging him. I was just like, he had very Indian features, and I wasn't sure. And he's from Vancouver.
Yeah, right. Like I said, once I researched it, every part about that movie, they messed it up.
Yeah, they just were going really random.
Yeah.
And the other one that got me was they redid Chris Redfield and Claire Redfield's story to make them potential test subjects and victims, and that was never their case.
No, not at all. Not like I said after I did the research. I mean, they did the, the dad injects himself at the end.
Yeah,
They kind of got that. Like it's like they tried to mix all of them together in one movie, and it didn't really work
some collaborated mess that just didn't work.
Right. Like they didn't go into anything with Umbrella.
No,
they didn't go into
bad casting choices, bad storytelling. It was bad, but I knew it was gonna be bad. Some of the other parts that really got to me was near the end, the CGI.
Oh, yeah.
Where you have people who apparently never worked with CGI before and don't know how to act around CGI. Where they're supposed to pretend. Like, when you're working with CGI, I mean, it does take a lot of acting ability because now you have to...
Because you have to imagine it.
Not only do you have to pretend about a situation, but now you have to pretend about a situation with an invisible friend that's not there, and you have to act around that invisible person that you can't see, so you have nothing to go off of. You have to go off your, like, pure random emotion, and you got to make it up, like, oh, he's swinging at me,
I mean...
And they just did an awful job, like, when... Who got picked up? Was it Chris that got picked up and was getting squeezed? And he was just... And they showed him in the background, and he just kind of stared off into the distance, not knowing what's going on, as he has to pretend he's being swung around by a giant monster.
So, you think there's going to be a second one?
Oh, no.
You don't think so?
No.
The way it ended.
No. All right, let's put it like this. They want there to be a second one, but there's not.
I mean, how much do you think they spent on it?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Right now in the box office, it has $38.6 million.
How? How'd they get people to go watch this?
You got all the video game people. I don't know.
$38.6 million is made right now in the box office. I don't know what they cost to make it. I can look that up.
Yeah, let's... Because that was... Whew, they made $36 million on that. I hope it was just a bunch of people who wanted to go see this terrible trash fire of a movie. Like, oh, I know it's going to be bad, so let's go watch this.
I mean, they didn't have high-profile actors, so I can't imagine that it would be. Cost them $25 million, so they're in the green.
Oh, my gosh.
There's
going to be a
the
second one.
one's coming. Ooh, you're going to be watching that one, too.
Oh,
you know it.
I'm going to watch it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
I'm going to bring, well, I don't like popcorn, but I'm going to bring snacks for that one. I'm just going to watch, if I'm not going to watch the movie, I'm going to watch you, and then I'm going to watch Cheetah.
Oh, my gosh.
But, yeah, I mean, it's made out, so I'm sure a second one's coming.
Yeah. Like, and how they did Albert Wesker is, like I said, we'll go back on the Albert Wesker thing because since they alluded to a second movie, how they ended it.
Oh, yeah. Right.
They made it really random, like, how did I come back? And
yeah, right.
You're
and
like,
the side effects of the drug or whatever.
Yeah, it makes
says.
you can't see. So here's your iconic sunglasses for no reason.
Right, yeah. But the problem is Wesker's not. Is Wesker in the next ones in the games?
Yeah, he's... All right, so the first game, he was like the primary guy that you had to... The primary human person you had to deal with.
In the first one. Right.
Then the second one, he takes a hard back seat, and it gets into some of the other characters that were introduced. The whole second game was based around Claire Redfield.
And her brother.
No, and Leon.
Oh, Leon, the cop.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the first game was Jill Valentine and Chris Redfield, and Albert Wesker, Barry Burton, and the members of the STARS unit.
Right.
The second game was just Leon, Claire. They introduced Ada Wong in that one, and Dr. Birkin, and the other half of that cast of Welcome to Raccoon City. The third game was primarily just Jill Valentine, dealing with stuff.
Right.
Wesker did not make a real comeback as far as like a character.
Well, that's what I mean.
Until Code Veronica, which is the third and a half game. It's where they started doing like the side thing where like, you know, some games had spin-off titles, like they were part of the main storyline, but they didn't want to give them an official number title. they came up with Code Veronica, which came out for the Dreamcast because that was one of the launch titles for the Dreamcast to help get its name out there.
I haven't heard of that.
Yeah, and it was such a success that they ported it to PlayStation 2 and everywhere else.
Right.
And speaking of Code Veronica, you know that in the movie when they showed those two twins staring at each other with the ants and stuff? When they were in the basement going through the films?
Oh, yeah.
That's leading to Code Veronica, which is this very specific scene in Code Veronica. So that's how I knew they were shooting for a sequel no matter what, because they're like, let's make mention of this random thing.
Well, I mean, the way it ended, you knew another.
Yeah, it was gonna.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I mean, and just looking at it, they've made, what I say, 36, 25 budget. They made 11. They've made 11 off
yeah,
it,
they made
so.
11 million off this trash fire, so might as well keep the
A
money
second-
train rolling.
Yeah, a second one's coming.
And actually, I got a text from our buddy Taylor,
Oh, yeah?
because he's listening right now. Shout
Okay.
out to Taylor. He said, "You watched it, you moron. That's how they got their money."
That's true.
I'm part of the problem, not
Yeah,
the
he is
solution.
part
I'm
of the problem. Hey, you wanted to watch it? I agreed.
Oh, I agreed too. I knew it was going to be bad. Like from day one, I knew it was going to be bad.
Yeah, but like, it's always easier when you know it going in. It's going to be a bad movie.
Yeah.
It sucks when you think it's going to be a good movie.
Yeah, no.
And it turns out to be crappy.
No, like when I got into the first Resident Evil series, the first one was good. The second one was good. The third one started to go downhill. And once I knew it was going to go downhill, once I saw it going downhill, I knew.
Well, what's the one I always watched with you? Was it the first one?
Give me a scene from it. I'll remember.
I can always remember the scene where she's walking in the city and the ashes falling down on her. She's in that deserted part of the.
Oh no, that's Silent Hill. That's Silent Hill.
Oh, is it Silent Hill?
That's
All right,
Silent Hill.
mixed
That's
up.
another. That's another. Oh, they're thinking about doing that too again too.
Are they
Oh yeah,
Same
I'm
actors?
all about that.
same actors?
I don't know. They just kind of like made a side mention like, hey, maybe we should continue the Silent Hill series, which I'm all.
Well, they did
for.
good. They
I
did good.
Loves, and that's the thing. But that's another game series I love a lot.
No, I know you went into that. I know you played it all the time.
Yeah, Silent Hill, Resident Evil. The one I would like to see, honestly, and this is a game you don't
See, there you go. That's me not knowing my games, mixing up the two movies.
exactly. You're not a gamer, but there's a game series called Fatal Frame.
Fatal Frame.
Yes,
Okay.
and it is super scary.
A game?
Yes. Oh yeah. It's like I jump at a lot of games, but this makes me jump a lot.
Okay.
So the whole game is like, it's I don't remember the company that does it. I'll have to relook it up, but it's all based off Japanese Shintoism, which is a religion out there,
Okay.
and it's you know how they have weird sects of every religion, like weird sections of religion like that do random stuff that are not quite okay with the main.
Right. Yeah.
Where the one was, they take a woman, they isolate her so she gets no emotional attachments to this world. Then they break her arms and legs, and then they tie her to a gate underneath, like a giant rock seal in this cave underneath it, which is a gate to the afterlife,
Oh, okay.
the evil afterlife.
I was gonna say down.
HE double hockey sticks.
Right. I just figured that's where you were going.
Yeah, and because they do it that way, they keep those spirits, the evil spirits, from coming into this world.
Through. All right. I got
So the whole game, the first game, is about a failed version of that ritual happening, and all these spirits show up, and you're playing this dude who shows up to try to fix all this, and as you're going through it, all these messed up ghosts show up trying to kill you, and instead of having like guns and stuff like that, they have a camera.
A camera.
They use a camera because the whole original, like, some people believe that a camera would steal
No,
your
it captures
soul.
the soul. Yeah.
Capture
right.
the soul,
Yeah.
which I thought was really innovative.
That's old school.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, think about that as a game. Like, you're in this haunted village, and the only way to stop the ghosts is taking their picture and capturing their souls in the film.
Yeah.
Like, that was clever.
That's a good.
That's clever.
Yeah, I would give it to you.
Yeah, so they're talking about, because they started reviving some of that lately in the games, they're talking about doing a movie on that too.
So has it got to be a special camera then? Because I mean, everything has a camera now.
Yeah,
Cell
it's a special
phones,
camera.
yeah,
It was
right.
the original one was called the Camera Obscura, and the other like big thing with that with the first game was there was a special mirror that would reflect souls and help repel them.
Okay.
And the maiden that got strapped to the rock to prevent the spirit from leaving would have to look in that mirror, and if she has no attachment, her soul would reflect everything away to keep all the spirits at rest. So the reason why it failed is she got attached to a dude, fell in love with him, and then when she looked in the mirror broke, and everything went belly up.
Yeah, right. Came through.
So in the first game, a piece of that mirror was in the camera obscura as part of its lens to help
catch them. Right.
Yes.
I got you.
So they're talking about doing a movie to that. Another movie for a gaming franchise, not even a movie, I think it's a series, is they're talking about doing BioShock. And I didn't talk to you about this, but this was something I just read the other day, and I got super excited about, but I didn't think we'd talk about it today.
It's like a nuclear fallout, right?
No, the way BioShock worked was a failed utopia, per usual.
They always fail.
Yeah, and that's one you have to do some research on, too, but it's...
probably.
Pretty much a billionaire decided that he didn't want government to rule everything. So his thought was, you should own what you should... Like, whatever you work for is what you get. That's what you own. And no government or anything could tell you what to do with what you own.
Right.
So what he did was took all his money, built a city underneath this ocean, at the bottom of the ocean, and he started going around collecting the world's smartest people, the richest people, all around the world to help with this city to create a utopia. And it goes horribly wrong because, you know,
they always do. Yeah.
Yeah. When is ever
Never.
Whenever a utopia ever stay a utopia, it always turns into dystopia real quick.
Yeah, it's never.
But,
I mean, especially in games and movies, they never stay utopias.
Yeah, because that'd make a really boring. That'd be a really boring game. Let me just hop into this game. Everything's great.
Yeah, right.
Do.
No problems.
Yeah.
I win.
Everything's fine.
I win.
Credits.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so that's one I'm looking forward to watching with you. I'll also send you research on that because it's a lot. Actually, I have the book.
Oh,
I have the book that got a lot of that started.
I'll read the book.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of books, I just read the whole series. I read that book again, by the way, because I was bored. I'd like to see something come with the Night Side.
Yes, but that kind of fell through again.
Did it?
Yes.
I was kind of excited to see that.
Yes. If you, for reference, this is a book series from Simon R. Green. He's actually one of my favorite authors. My buddy Zach got me hooked onto him. He created a series called The Night Side, which is a undercity inside the city of London that contains
all kinds of magical beings.
Oh yeah, any kind of lore, any kind of belief of fairy tales, any of that all exists in this city, and the main character is a detective who goes around and deals with all this, and he has his own purpose, and he has a special gift that vaguely does whatever he wants to at the time. And it's a really good series. It's really dark. It's got many colorful characters.
Oh, a lot of them.
And they're all great.
I mean, they could all have their own. They could all have their own books.
Yeah, and I got you into that book, and I wasn't sure how much you were going to get into that book.
Oh, I love that series. Love it.
But once you got into it, I was like, all right. So
I'd have to say Dead Boy is my favorite character.
Yeah, I like Miss Fate.
I know you like Miss Fate
just because it's an interesting character. Like,
yeah, I know.
Julian Advent is also another one I like.
Yeah, Julian Advent's a good one.
But
Dead Boy.
I think that's a whole nother conversation we could have.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's one we could go on for a while. But
we were speaking of things we want made in the movies. That's
that's where I got started.
That's something
but I
would
could
like
see
to
us getting real distracted. Real
that's
easy.
something I would like to see.
So with them doing the BioShock, I'll send you the book so you can read that, so you can catch up with everything. So you have an idea of what's going on before you get into it, because BioShock's really good.
Right.
That was also one of my very many game series I love.
I remember you playing it.
It's on my list to play through again.
Well, I remember you playing it. I just, you know how I am. Like, if it don't interest me, I go in my 1,000
zone
yard
out.
stare.
Yeah, that's why we don't
go in my own world.
That's why you're not on the gaming side of
you
things.
You gotta snap your fingers at
That's
me.
why you're not on the gaming section of this show.
I know.
What other series are coming out that are piquing interest right now?
You mean movies or series?
I know we got Batman coming up.
Oh, I know. I know. You're so excited about that.
I am, because it's probably going to be also another trash fire, and I'm prepared for that.
I mean, I just don't picture him as.
No,
I just don't picture him as
No.
Batman. I mean, maybe Bruce Wayne.
young Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, young Bruce Wayne, not
Hey, no, I'm not talking about a grizzled.
yeah, like
Bruce Wayne.
30-year-old Bruce Wayne who's been at this for a couple years, and
Right. Yeah, I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
A younger Bruce Wayne. I could see him as a younger Bruce Wayne.
yeah,
I just.
which I'm really hoping they at least do that. This better not. But how they revealed the trailers for the new Batman movie was that he's already been in circulation for a while. This is not year zeros, or
It's not like year
Yeah.
5, year 6.
yeah, this is like year 5 or 6.
No, that's
where he's
fine. It's still a young
No,
Bruce
but
Wayne.
he was well known at that point. Like 0 year is when he first started being Batman, and no one knew how to quite handle it, which would be fine because then he was younger at that point. He was pushing 30 when he got into year 5 and 6. So that's what I'm saying. He was
calling
already
us-
established as the Batman.
You calling us old?
Yeah, we're old.
Is that what's happening?
We're old. Get over it. We're dying. We're old.
The Flash. The Flash is coming
Oh
out
no,
next
because
year.
it's that's awesome. Because I hate that guy as the Flash, and it's not because he's a bad actor, but they sent his direction in the wrong way. First of all, Barry Allen, like the guy who did the show, the TV show,
Yeah.
he is a much better Flash, in my opinion, than the guy for the movies.
Maybe.
Because the guy in the movies kind of looks like Topher Grace, you know, the oh my gosh, what movie was he just in? Oh my gosh, I can I'm trying to think of what movie he was in, Topher Grace, because he was always that Dodgeball. He was the nerdy kid in Dodgeball.
Oh, that was him?
I think that's the same actor.
What's his name?
I don't know. I think it's Topher Grace.
You're talking about the skinny kid with the black hair?
Yeah. Is that the same actor who played in that? Like,
I don't know. I'll look it up here.
that will not be great.
A true underdog story.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see Jurassic Park's bringing out all the original cast?
Oh, I know. They're continuing it, and they need to stop.
Maybe it'll be the last one. They're bringing out, like I said, all the original cast. So you think it's trying to hype up the older, like us?
Yeah, they're trying to catch the older. They're
Right.
trying to catch the older audience, a new audience. So, like, I just don't know.
No, Justin Long is his name.
Yeah, check if he's the one who's playing Flash, because that's what he looks like. Doesn't it look like the same dude who's playing the Flash in the Justice League movie?
I'll tell you here in a second. Go ahead. Continue.
But they ruined him just because they made him super scared to fight. They made him run really weird. That's the part that got me, is the really awkward run. Did you ever see that? Did you ever see the clips of him running? All right. It is so awkward because he runs really goofy. Like, he buckles his knees under himself, so you can tell he's trying to push himself on a treadmill.
Right.
That's not working. And it looks really bad because no one in their life ever runs like that.
Right.
Like this. Like, he ran with his arms doing this, crossing his whole body, and then kicked his legs out really funky. So he was like looking like a spaghetti guy, like a wacky waving inflatable tube man.
Ezra Miller plays the Flash.
But do they look alike? Though?
Yeah, they do kind of a little bit. I
So-
mean, not a lot, but a little.
Enough.
Right.
So I just don't like him as the Flash. I'm very against it. To get the guy who played in the WB series, he's way better at Flash. He's very good at playing Barry Allen. As a young Barry Allen who's just like coming into his powers and knowing what to do with them and being intelligent. That's the other thing, is they didn't really go over that very well. Is Barry Allen is a crime investigator. He's like in charge of his own department in the police force of like doing forensics, because that was his whole shtick. Is his dad got wrongfully committed. His dad got wrongfully accused of killing his mother,
Right.
and when he went to jail for it. He spent his life learning criminal investigation so it would never happen again and trying to get his dad out. This random Barry Allen's like, hey, I'm scared to fight, guys. Which
I mean, they got to change some stuff up, you know.
No, they don't.
There's
a reason.
Yeah, but they always do.
Yes, they always do. And there's no reason to, especially when you have established characters.
Oh, yeah, right. But they want to put
They want to put a spin on everything.
Every director wants to put their own twist on something.
And no.
Hey, you know how I feel about It Chapter 2.
Yes. But that was more budget problems. That was more them letting the budget dictate that. If they would have had that same budget they had the first time, I guarantee we would have much different.
It Chapter 2 is my Resident Evil.
Yeah. Well,
No.
No. The difference between those two were I expected Resident Evil to be bad from the gate.
Well, yeah, right.
We did not expect
No, not at all.
It Chapter 2 to be a letdown.
Well, no, because the first one was so good.
Now, I don't think it was a garbage fire. I think it was very much a letdown.
Yeah, I don't.
And anybody who's familiar with the series will also probably feel it's a letdown. But was it a dumpster fire? No.
I don't want to say it was a dumpster fire, but I also don't want to watch it again. So.
Fair enough. We'll just keep watching the first one over. And
Yeah, right. I'm fine
head.
with that.
So one of the other things I've put Greg up to lately is I'm very big into watching random shows and especially random anime. Like, I'm not a weeaboo.
You're a weeaboo.
Shh. But I like watching random animes all the time, ones I find interesting for one reason or another. Usually what draws me to different shows is the characters. And one of the shows I decided to throw Greg down the old rabbit hole for was a show called Soul Eater.
Soul Eater.
And Greg made it a lot further than what I thought he would. And he's on episode 11? 14. What did you think of this so far?
I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I like the concept of it, of the whole weapon. One person's a weapon, one person's the wielder. The characters, some of the characters are really hard to deal with. Like Black Star is really hard to deal with.
Oh, he's one of my favorites.
Oh man,
because he's just that showboating guy.
I know, that's why I don't like it.
But
It's like 5 minutes of him screaming about how good he is, and it's,
yeah. But I will tell you, if you actually make it through the whole series,
I mean, I'm dedicated myself to it. I'm gonna watch it now.
You might as well.
I'm halfway through it. I might as well watch it.
Yeah. It starts to come up where his showboating actually... There's times his showboating actually shows that he's a lot better than what he is.
Well, no, I mean, they show flashes of him actually being
really good when he wants to be.
But a lot of the times he loses the case because he's an idiot.
Yeah, he's an idiot. But that's what I like about him. He's like the idiot that always tries hard. And he has such confidence in himself that makes him pursue the goals. Because he has such confidence in himself, he never disbelieves.
Because he thinks he's such a big thing that
and he never disbelieves in himself.
He strives to be the big thing.
So that's what allows him to prevail, because he always believes in himself.
I mean, I get it. It's just he's an annoying character.
Yes, he is an annoying character, but that's his shtick. He's supposed to be annoying, but he's also supposed to be lovable in that aspect.
And I think what's the dad's name? Spirit.
Yeah. Spirit.
He's an annoying one.
Yes, and he has his moments too, but he's stuck on the annoying thing for 90% of the show. I will not be like, oh, he redeems himself later. No.
Well, I think it's kind of cool how they make every character has their flaw. No one's like a perfect
major.
Yeah, right. No one's like a perfect student or anything like that.
Death the Kid. He's like perfect in every
symmetry.
Everything in his like combat and his knowledge. He's super proficient in everything.
Right.
He just has a OCD when it comes to symmetry.
Yeah, his OCD issues.
And that's what makes him a great character. Is like he could probably be the best character ever, like physically and stuff, but he's so obsessed with his symmetry and his OCD that he can't handle it. He can't do it.
Yeah, he goes bonkers if something's not symmetrical.
Have you gotten to the test episode yet?
Yes.
The one where they take that test, and he spends an hour.
I literally just got past. He spends an hour drawing his name.
And he doesn't even get past it.
He doesn't get past the K.
He gets to the K.
He has a total breakdown.
Because he can't make it perfectly symmetrical, and it's great. And he's like sweating and crying.
He literally falls on the floor.
Yeah,
bawling. Yeah, that was when Soul was trying to cheat off of him.
And then Black Star.
Oh, he's all beat up, hanging off the chalkboard.
Professor caught him.
I like Professor Stein.
Oh yeah, he's a great character. Actually, when you get to probably the next 7 or 8 episodes, when he really shows like more of his character. And
Oh, really?
And that's the point where I was like, I like him even better now.
Right. I think right now that I'm on the episode with the Black Dragon. They're at the ship in the
The
middle.
Meat
of
Hog, yeah,
Yeah, that's it. That's where I'm at right now.
yeah, and that's Death Kid's little couple episodes to really bring him in.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a little.
It's all about Death Kid.
Is it?
This,
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, does it ever explain his dad? Does it ever come to light?
with
Now Maka tries to see his soul, and she can't figure out how Death the Kid.
yes,
has a
that
soul.
all comes to light.
Does it all
Why
come to
she
light?
couldn't see his soul
Okay.
and stuff with her powers. That comes to light real quick. Actually, it shows in that same episode when she talks about why she couldn't see his soul. When they showed the outside of the city,
Oh, that
the aura
that
around it.
dome. Yeah, okay.
that's the soul.
Got you. But yeah, no, I mean it's not a bad show. It's like I said, every character has their flaws. There's just some annoying characters where it's like, all right.
Yeah, but I didn't throw you into this deep end. Well, I didn't throw you in deep as I wanted to.
Yeah, didn't you and Cheetah have a little discussion?
Yeah, we had a
about
debate,
yeah.
and we decided that Soul Eater was a good, like, start for you because it's in the rabbit hole, but it's not far enough that you might think lesser of me.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh,
I don't think lesser. I just maybe like, right.
Yeah, you might
You
question
watch some weird stuff, but
because I've watched some.
Yeah,
I've
I know you
watched
do.
some weird ones.
listen, I made it through what I want to say. Was it 10 minutes of Velocipaster? Was it like 10 minutes?
Movie.
10 minutes.
Oh, I gotta finish.
Listen,
that.
when I watched that, then I watched that with you. I was like, all right, you watched some weird stuff.
because I love weird stuff.
Listen,
It's-
I like the hokey, but I like our hokey, like when we were kids.
Yeah,
I like Nightmare on Elm Street.
yeah. That
I like that hokey stuff.
Like for me, I like Zombievers.
So stupid though. I can't. Well, you've watched movies with me. I just can't take the stupid stuff. Like
Yeah, the extra stupid.
yeah,
like,
right. Well, I even like in some horror movies.
you like the stuff where it's hokey, where they tried to do well,
right?
and it just turned
And
out
it just was garbage.
it was just bad.
Not garbage, but like
It's where they try to take a garbage concept and make it really good.
Right.
It's like the one I want to get. There's two of them I want to get Cheetah into, and she's not going to do it.
what is it?
So there's two movies, Llamageddon.
Cheetah, we'll have some drinks. We'll sit down. We'll watch Llamageddon.
Or The Killer Couch.
Oh, the sofa.
Yeah, the sofa.
Killer
the
sofa.
killer
I always see the thing on Netflix.
I see it on.
I always see it on Netflix, and I always
And we
I
watched-
always think to
we
myself,
watched the
Kyle
trailer.
watches that.
We watched a trailer of it, and Cheetah's face when the couch brought up a knife and just started stabbing a guy.
Oh man!
I started dying, and then you have a couch trying to push a guy into a dumpster, like a corpse into
like a reverse roll. Like instead of getting rid of the couch, he's getting rid of the guy.
Yeah, no, because the whole concept is the murderer died on the sofa, and so he possessed the
So
sofa.
Spirit possesses the sofa. Oh man!
And it's a serial murder, and it's you see a sofa pushing a corpse into a dumpster, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is great!"
Yeah.
But she looked at me with disdain, so she ain't watching it.
Every
with me.
time I see it, every time I'm on Netflix or something, I see that sofa. I instantly think Kyle's probably watched that.
Cheetah just messaged us and said she'll watch Llamageddon with us, but she's not watching the couch.
We'll get some drinks. We'll watch Llamageddon.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way I'm going to make it through one of those movies with you.
Oh, that's fine. They're great. I love them. Ghost Shark is one I got to get you to watch too.
Ghost Shark or Sharknado?
No, Ghost Shark. See, Ghost Shark and all these other movies came out afterwards, after they saw how popular Sharknado was. And I'm gonna throw you real quick into this one.
Oh, is that the one where the clip where the kids
the fat kid's going
running on the slip and slide?
And then as he gets to the end, also this giant ghost shark comes out of the water and eats him.
Okay, yeah, I know.
The one that made me really want to watch that movie was they went to a bikini car wash, and do
you remember this? I think this all started. I feel like it all started. Do you remember Piranha? When we were kids, when Piranha came out, I feel like this is where all those movies started.
Well, sci-fi has always been.
Well, I know, but I feel
stupid
like
movies like that.
these movies particularly, I feel
Yeah.
started with Piranha.
Yeah. So the scene was like, you have all these girls, good-looking girls, doing bikini car washes, and they're washing all this stuff, and you have this nerdy guy with the big, stupid, thick glasses, like the unusually
Oh,
thick
yeah,
ones.
like kinda like
you
when you think
cannot
of-
see through. I don't care how bad your eyes, you can't see through those.
Right.
He was there spending ridiculous amounts of money to have these women wash his car, and all of a sudden the one girl leans over into the bucket and she sees the ghost shark and it starts eating her, and you see all these people screaming and there's blood shooting everywhere across the windshields and stuff. All of a sudden they do a quick snap back to the girl and her legs are kicking out of the bucket.
Out of the bucket.
I was like, oh.
So I feel like when you were explaining it to me, I had that's how it came up. I had a flashback to Piranha when they're on the boat and the girls are all in their bikinis, and like the one dives into the water, and then all of a sudden she starts getting eaten up by
Yeah.
a bunch of piranhas. Like I feel like that's where your nostalgia started. Piranha.
Yeah. Oh, some of these.
But I know
movies.
you've always kind of liked the otter movies though.
Yeah, because they're always fun.
Like what was your one? We were just talking about it recently. What was your one favorite horror movie? It was like out of left field.
Ghost Ship?
Yeah, that one.
Ghost Ship.
I was like, what?
That one was good though.
It wasn't a bad. I have to get. It's not a bad one, but it's not one people normally think of.
Yeah, it's
So
not
what-
like the.
So like when you asked me what I thought your favorite horror movie was, I went to the like. I know you love Hellraiser. I know you like Lawnmower Man. Like I was thinking. I know you like off the wall
Michael
stuff,
Myers,
right? Yeah,
Halloween,
right. So I went with all that.
Like all of them, yeah. Like there's a lot I like, but I loved 13 Ghosts because I loved the. I mean, not 13.
Well, I like
Ghosts,
13
Ghost
Ghosts.
Ship, yeah, Ghost Ship because I like the concept of like. It's a constant trap of trapping more and more souls to ferry to the.
Right. It's kind of like Davy Jones'
Yeah.
locker.
Except for he's using people's greed to mark them with sin.
Right.
To,
Yeah.
Continue his.
It's that concept though.
Yeah. There's all
I-
kinds of stuff.
We'll get into more of it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the next one we're definitely going to be talking about is Batman. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Oh, I
Batman,
mean, that comes out here soon, right?
March 3rd?
Oh yeah, we'll definitely see it before. We'll definitely see it before I'm back.
Yeah. And we'll probably have you on another anime series by then.
Oh yeah, probably.
I'm debating if we want to go a little more weird or
I was
a little
at-
more
so listen,
something more home base for you.
I was at work today and I had the earbuds in. We weren't really doing anything today. I had the phone on the dash and I was watching Soul Eater. And the guy I was working with just kept looking at me like, "What
What
in
are
the
you
world are you watching?"
You need to just look at him like, mind your business.
Yeah, kind of. Well, my face speaks more
Yeah.
sometimes than my actual.
Just look at him like, mind your business.
Yeah, right. My face speaks for me.
You ain't about this life.
Right. But he was like, just gave me a look like, "What are you watching?" And I wanted to be like, "It's a project. Don't worry about it. You sit over there.
Mind your
Mind your
business."
business."
Oh, all right. Well, I think we're going to conclude on that. Our next week will be back to video games with my other co-host, Andrew. Have a good night.